4. In the dense, sun-flooded noon of next day, a spot in the sea before them resolved casually into a grey and green islet, apparently composed of a great granite cliff at its north end, which slanted south through a mile of vivid coppice and grass to a sandy beach melting lazily into the surf. When Ardita, reading in her favorite seat, came to the last page of The Revolt of Angels, and slamming the book shut, looked up and saw it, she gave a little cry of delight, and called to Carlyle, who was standing moodily by the rail. "Is this it? Is this where you're going?" Carlyle shrugged his shoulders carelessly. "Got me." He raised his voice and called up to the acting skipper. "Oh, babe, is this your island?" The mulatto's miniature head appeared from round the corner of the deckhouse. "Yes, sir. This ya's it." Carlyle joined Ardita. "Looks sort of sporting, doesn't it?" "Yes," she agreed, "but it doesn't look big enough to be much of a hiding place." "You're still putting your faith in those wirelesses your uncle was going to have zigzagging around?" "No," said Ardita frankly. "I'm all for you. I'd really like to see you make a getaway." He laughed. "You're our lady luck. Guess we'll have to keep you with us as a mascot. For the present, anyhow." "You couldn't very well ask me to swim back," she said coolly. "If you do, I'm going to start writing dime novels founded on that interminable history of your life you gave me last night." He flushed and stiffened slightly. "I'm very sorry I bored you." "Oh, you didn't. Until just at the end with some story about how furious you were because you couldn't dance with the ladies you played music for." He rose angrily. You have a damn mean little tongue." "Excuse me," she said, melting into laughter, "but I'm not used to having men regale me with the story of their life ambitions, especially if they've lived such adeptly platonic lives." "Why? What men do usually regale you with?" "Oh, they talk about me," she yawned. "They tell me I'm the spirit of youth and beauty." "What do you tell them?" "Oh, I agree quietly." "Does every man you meet tell you he loves you?" Anita nodded. "Why shouldn't he? All life is just a progression towards, and then a recession from, one phrase, 'I love you.'" Carlyle laughed and sat down. "That's very true. That's not bad. Did you make that up?" "Yes, or rather I found it out. It doesn't mean anything especially. It's just clever." "It's the sort of remark," he said gravely, "that's typical of your class." "Oh," she interrupted impatiently, "don't start that lecture on aristocracy again. I distrust people who can be intense at this hour in the morning. It's a mild form of insanity, a sort of breakfast food jag. Morning's the time to swim, sleep, and be careless." 10 minutes later they had swung round in a wide circle, as if to approach the island from the north. "There's a trick somewhere," commented Ardita thoughtfully. "You can't mean just to anchor up against this cliff." They were heading straight in now towards the solid rock, which must have been well over 100 feet tall, and not until they were within 50 yards of it did Ardita see their objective. Then she clapped her hands in delight. There was a break in the cliff entirely hidden by a curious overlapping of rock, and through this break the yacht entered, and very slowly traversed a narrow narrow channel of crystal clear water between the high gray walls. Then they were riding at anchor in a miniature world of green and gold, a gilded bay smooth as glass and set round with tiny palms, the whole resembling the mirror lakes and twig trees that children set up in sand piles.